This is a Power 98.7 podcast. Now we're talking. Subscribe to Power 98.7 podcasts in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. There's more on power987.co.za.
Welcome to the last stretch of the Power Zone right here on Power 98.7. I have Daddy Zibuse Kunene, who's on standby as our guest in the last stretch, coming through really wearing a cap of an author this time around. You know, he's no stranger to this show. Would often go into matters that have to do with parenting and the likes. Daddy Zibuse Kunene has penned a book titled Morning Thoughts by Zibuse L Kunene. Thoughts that stimulate the right thinking for the right mindset for right living. So we are told that the book really is something that you all need to get your hands on, especially if you are one person that needs a little bit of a lift me up, a booster of some sort. So fitting really for our show, of course, to reflect on this book. We are the first ones, the champions here on Power 98.7. When you look at how then we tend to set the agenda, and we just basically start off where other shows are concerned. So the morning is us. We are the morning. We are the first ones to see the morning. And this book is titled Morning Thoughts. You would really want to start your morning with those thoughts that are positive, to start your morning with thoughts that would enrich you, that would ensure that you're better positioned to deal with whatever odds or whatever that you may come across that is unfavorable. So this is the guide that we are told to just starting your day, and is titled Morning Thoughts by Zibuse L Kunene. It's on standby to speak to us as we speak right now. But then, hey, a reminder there at home that we are on 0861 987 000. Yeah, you'll find us there until the hour 3 o'clock. We're also on Twitter at PowerFM 987. So you're welcome to go there as well and try by all means to reflect with us as we go into the last stretch of the Power Zone this morning. Daddy Kunene, Zibuse, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I'm awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's a celebration, really. When we call you often on the show, would be talking about interventions, would be looking at ways of making sure that we get the best out of this parenting space. But then we're seeing you just really wear another cap in this regard. You're an author penning this book titled Morning Thoughts. Let us in really on when did you embark on this journey to be an author, to pen this book, and really how did the book come about to a point whereby you title it Morning Thoughts?
So the book's journey started in when we had come from a friend's party, a family friend's party. So after that, I started sharing pictures via WhatsApp, and I created a broadcast list. And then from there, I started sharing jokes. But then something in me said, you know what, just share messages. So then it was just short messages here and there, jokes. And then when I started sharing like inspirational messages, uplifting messages, I then started growing the broadcast list. And I remember in 2019, towards the end of October, two people really touched me. One of them was a friend who was working here in Pretoria, who said to me, and I think we did a kind of a morning thought review on YouTube. And she said to me she used to share the morning thoughts with her brother, who was also going through a depressive state. And those morning thoughts helped get him out of that state. And then I realized, wow, this is actually bigger than what I thought. And then the other person then who also changed how I saw these was my nephew, who is in the army. And he said to me, don't stop sending these messages, because every morning before I start my day, I always read them. And then sometimes maybe I don't read them the same day, but when I'm going through something, I can then read them, and I know they lift me up and they change my mood, or even when I'm not feeling okay. And then for me, there was like I owe him, to keep these going. So then I started sending the messages on a regular basis. And early 2020, I started reading the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And in that book, Robin Sharma talks about the 20-20-20 principle or pockets. And in those pockets, then what he then says, exercise, and then you do a reflection, and then you do a learning. So in the learning, there's also the journaling part. And then I started using the last 20 minutes as a kind of like a journaling. And I would write down these small thoughts because I didn't want them to be too long, because you basically have to capture these thoughts and digest them and then move quickly into your day. And therefore then, because I was doing that 5 a.m. club in the morning, I then decided, you know what, let me then call these morning thoughts because they are in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's basically where the journey started.
Yeah, it's really inspiring because really in the morning you'd see a lot of people just positioning themselves to get the best out of the day. You'd hear even people saying that maybe listen to, guard what you listen to in the morning, spend 5 minutes in the sun, it will change your mood and the likes, meaning that the way you start your day is very, very important in terms of how then it's going to go throughout the whole period, morning into the afternoon. So starting it on a positive is something that can help one to really get the best out of the day. Maybe give us an example of these morning thoughts. What can one get out of the book? That is one morning thought that we can say that it's motivational. When you hang on to this thought, it's something that can better position you for greatness, even against all odds. Even if maybe someone steps on you, you won't react in a way that you are a reactionary and you're angry and you've been waiting for an outlet, but you'd react kindly so because of the fact that you started your morning with these thoughts that are also positive. School us here a bit.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll share a review that a friend of mine who bought the book and also they started reading it. He shared a nice long review, but I'll just share a snippet of it. So he says here, Zibuse in part 1 God's book says, love without limits, but first love thyself. And then he says, on love and commitment, he says, paraphrased and summarized, give in love, receive in love, build in love, correct in love, think in love, befriend in love, trust in love, create in love, understand in love, commit in love, be patient in love, express in love, learn in love, filled in love, plant in love, and love in action. Live in love because we enjoy life more when we live in love than in hatred, anger, or hurt. Love yourself too much to rest and recharge in love.
Yeah, no, that is powerful, man. In poetry where they do this, I felt like going like,
yeah.
That is where you took me, but that is great. So basically talking about love, reflecting on love here. I mean, love without limit, yet don't forget to love thyself.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm blown away as we speak right now, and I believe that there are more pearls of wisdom that people can get to come out of this book. So it's a motivational book, an inspirational book, something that basically can be the go-to every morning. Let us in on maybe the chapters or what the book entails here.
So this one that I've released is an ebook, a Kindle version, and it's available on Amazon. So it's also the first edition. And currently there are 2 other editions that I'm working on that are then building upon this one. And through that, you see the evolution and the growth of the morning thoughts. And I'll share, for example, the one that is very recent. And you can also find the daily snippets on my social media platform, specifically on Instagram. You'll find them with the artwork. So what I've done on the social media is I've used artwork from different artists, and then I've added the caption as morning thoughts, and people also get hooked by that, and then they start reading. So the recent one, which I'm going to share with you now, I then started adding titles. For example, this one I'm going to read to you. It's morning thought, and the title is Running Mate. Life can get difficult all by itself, and then having people to add to the difficulty makes things even harder. Every one of us needs someone who will be there by our side, running their race while we run ours. This race is not a sprint, but a marathon, and for that, we need a running mate. Our running mate doesn't have to compete against us, but runs with us. Our running mate must encourage us when we feel like giving up. They must understand that there is more than one winner. And the winner and that prize is different for each of us. Some have chosen running mates who cause them to stumble. What kind of a running mate do you have? And then I sign it off with, hello, my name is Zibuse L Kunene, and I've just gotten started.
Yeah, I mean, we all need a running mate, right?
Yes,
Someone
we
that will
do.
run with us and not compete with us, but they'll try by all means to be there for us as well when we're going through the most. That is inspiring. That is it also gives you or tasks you with trying to identify who is that running mate in your life, and really see if maybe you can, whenever life maybe confuses you a bit, you can always just tap into that running mate as wealth of wisdom or just their being, so that you can better position yourself to get the best out of your day. I mean, when you look at it as well, Daddy, the world is too much with us. We are dealing with a lot, the socioeconomic challenges that are weighing heavy on us, and some of them really you can't, they're out of your control. The shocks that come with the economy, and you find yourself really the plans that you had in place where your life is concerned just fading away, and you're living life as it goes. We know very well that also we're placed in that position where one then would tend to be overcome with thoughts of what ifs, maybe I should have, I could have, you know what I mean? Those thoughts that would creep in and would see you just basically going into a dark space and not getting the best out of your day. Is this a book really an escape, the go-to, that book that every day without fail you'll need to really keep going back to it, so that you get the best out of your day, looking at the fact that indeed the world is too much with us here?
Definitely. And also what happens is I write literally every day, 365 days a year. I push this out onto the social media platform and the WhatsApp broadcast list that I've created, to people as far as New Zealand, the UK, and just some parts in the US. And then here in Africa, they go as far as Malawi, and then Kenya. So the reach is far wider than just South Africa, because people need something authentic, something that is for them, something that builds them, something that helps them, get that right mindset for the right day. So an example of what happened to me and what I've realized is I also get to benefit from them, because I first have to think about what people need to hear these days in terms of helping them through their lives, helping them through their day. So yesterday, as I was driving through traffic, this one guy, he comes, and I actually needed to swing, and I checked my rear view, and then I indicated switch lanes, but then he came speeding from behind me and then started hooting, came on my far left, and then started hooting from there to get my attention, and then he zapped me. When he zapped me, I looked at him, and then as his car passed by, I saw a sticker. I think it was something like "Jesus is my Lord." And for me, I laughed because there was that irony that, we tend to make assumptions about people that because they behave in a certain way, that because they, for example, we find them in churches or we find them in the right spaces, we think that they're good people. And therefore, we make the assumption that they are good and that we can confide in them. But then we get hurt by that. And so one of the morning thoughts and one of the thoughts I also share via TikTok is be careful of just opening yourself up to people because of what you see. If you are going to open up to someone, and if you are going to open up to Zibuse, first get to know Zibuse's heart. Get to know who he is, and then you can start confiding. Don't think that just because you met Zibuse at church or because you always hear Zibuse on Power and you think, wow, this person is the right person that I can confide to. The next thing you hear or see what we were talking about on the social media. And that then gets people hurt. So it's about building that wisdom in people and that discernment that you need to do your due diligence on people, but don't always let everything that happens in life to affect you, because some things are not about you. Things happen through you, but not to you. And when they happen through you, they are not necessarily for you, but for others. So everything that I would have gone through in my life, it would be wasted pain if I live and dwell in it. But it then becomes something different if all the pain that I've gone through, I can relate with someone else who's going through a similar problem in their life without actually projecting my problems or my history on them. But it just makes me more relatable, more open to hearing them and not even judging who they are. So the morning thoughts help you refine your mindset around that. And if you go through any of the platforms, on Facebook, there's a page, Morning Thoughts by Zibuse L Kunene. Go through them, you will see how your life will become inspired. And it's actually how one person from New Zealand was scrolling through Facebook and they saw the morning thoughts. And, it was amazing how they decided to take the next step. Usually when we see certain posts on social media, we kind of go through them and then move past. But for someone to take the extra action of going of finding a WhatsApp number and then getting in touch with the person who wrote that is something for me that was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And indeed, people will get the best out of this. And what I love is the fact that you're talking about, people giving their experiences, and through you, you're an outlet from across the world. You're getting people really give you the best out of this particular book. Because I wanted to ask you as well to say that what has been the reception since the launch of this book as well, and do we see it changing lives? You see people saying to you that, hey man, please, we need more of this morning thoughts so that we can really best position ourselves even going forward in this regard. So when we look at the two issues that you say are still in the pipeline, can we expect them to also more or less drop this year, or is something that maybe you'd pace yourself and see how this first edition is doing, and then you'd continue on that note?
Well, look, the mandate is upon my life to release. So this is an ebook. So I now have to work on the hard copy, because some people have been calling me and say, where is the hard copy? We want one that is autographed. And because then this is self-published, I kind of have to pace myself and therefore I am working on the hard copy, which I'm going to release again online, and then thereafter work on getting the print version that I can distribute locally. And I hope to also deliver one to you when that hard copy is out. And there's a woman who didn't know me, and I really want to give honor to her. There's a woman who didn't know me who saw a post, WhatsApp a morning thought I shared on a WhatsApp group, and she picked up on it. And after picking up on it, she just said to me, "This is wonderful." She started sharing in different WhatsApp groups that she was part of, and it was amazing how she selflessly made it her point that she will share these messages every day. So as I put them out, she then shares them on the group. I remember one lady who was going through chemotherapy, and when she saw one of the morning thoughts, they just touched her, and she felt the need to reach out through this lady. And the lady unfortunately passed away last year, and her name was Sister Leta Musue from Rustenburg, and she was an amazing person. And before she had passed, I had made a promise that I was going to deliver the hard copy to her. And after her passing, her sister took her phone and saw the morning thoughts, and she used the morning thoughts to help her deal with her loss. And I've been then communicating with the sister, and I made a promise that once I've got the hard copy, I will still honor that hard copy, that promise that I made to Sister Leta, and bring it to them in Rustenburg. So I still owe a drive to Rustenburg. So this is a must.
Man, Daddy, thank you very much for giving us your time and for taking us through the book. We'll be looking forward to the book. And if there was someone that was listening, the one to form part of this WhatsApp group, the one to form part of this morning thoughts and the journeys, how do they do it? How do they follow you? How do they form part of the cohort that starts their mornings on this note?
So they can reach out to me via Instagram, M_T_reflections, which is short for Morning Thought Reflections, or they can reach out to me via TikTok, and they can also find them there. And then lastly, they can reach out to me via WhatsApp 065 882 7318 065 882 7318.
All right, Daddy. No, thank you very much for just giving us your time this morning, and we wish you everything of the best where this, being an author, this journey is concerned. We're looking forward to just getting the best out of this audio book, and wish you, everything of the best, the strength and the resources just to make sure that this audio book becomes really a hard copy, so people can really have it with them every single morning without fail and refer. Without any hustle. But we really appreciate you doing the job that you do, motivating and ensuring that the world becomes a better place. And I'm sure that really people will get the best out of Morning Thoughts by Zibuse L Kunene, and 065 882 7318 is where they can reach out. You at home can reach out to Daddy Zibuse here just to join in on this WhatsApp group in the morning. But M_T_reflections on Instagram, also on TikTok. You can just look out for Morning Thoughts, the book, and this is where then you can get the best out of the work and the brains that is Daddy Zibuse Kunene. Daddy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Daddy Ketlero. I really appreciate this, and thank you to also Leo and the power listeners.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome.
You are awesome, and everything of the best, man, where the day is concerned.
Thank you.
Awesome. Daddy Zibuse Kunene.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast. For more podcasts, visit power987.co.za or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.